This comes from an article I wrote for Dentaltown in October 2014. Doctors' biggest financial mistakes. Well, first of all, we're going to hear about Carlson bombs, things I made mistakes on early. I basically made most of the mistakes that I rant about today. Okay, I purchased a home in 1980. I'm going to be reading this. It's just too long and there's too many good things. I can't memorize it. I don't have a teleprompter, so I'm going to be reading it. Pardon me for doing this, but I think this is fun material. Okay, I purchased a home in 1980, of course before the practice. Purchased a home in 1980 at the peak of the housing boom for $800 a month at 12% interest. Now that was one of those time periods like 2005 when we all thought we got to buy now because we won't ever be able to buy later because it just keeps going up. Well, eventually it does come down. I bought at peak. Then I bought a new car a year later in 1981 for $310 a month. That's a lot, $310 a month. I mean, a lot of car loans are $310 a month now. Anyway, it was 18% interest. Finally, I took out a practice loan in 1982 for $1,500 a month. That was 19.5% interest. And I tried to lock that in, but they kept it at a floating rate. I was so lucky that it was at a float because I bought at peak. These loans totaled $2,600 a month. My net income from the practice was $3,500 a month. That meant I had $900 a month to live on. This is crazy. I had zero savings. Yes, I made the same darn mistakes that I rant about today. Well, let's look at some selected comments from a 2011 Dentaltown thread on financial mistakes. Here's the first one. My biggest mistake was early on thinking that every new toy for the office was only $600 a month for the next 5 years. Pretty soon you have about 20 of these things costing $600 a month and a whole lot of debt and a ton of crap in the office. Keep it simple early. Toys, toys, and more toys. Okay, next one. I totally agree with getting your practice established before your house. This is actually a group of several of them from the same doctor. He also says at the top of the list for financial mistakes and general life mistakes is marrying the wrong woman. Amen there. Nothing else other than losing your dental practice will be more expensive. He goes on to say never spend more than 16% of your income on your mortgage. And I say 15. Pay cash for toys. If you can't pay cash, save until you can. And finally, he says if you are over 35, pay cash for everything that isn't a home. Everything. Boat, CIRAC, kitchen remodel, the whole works. Here's another doc. Don't ever fall into the trap of thinking that if you don't buy something now, you will miss the opportunity forever. There are always more opportunities. Here's another one. The number one mistake I made, arguing with my wife way too many times about changes that should have been made. If I had listened and made the changes she thought right, we would have gotten out of that deep hole I dug much sooner. Okay, here's some other comments that I've heard over the years from other doctors. Automatically spending more as your income goes up. Or as a loan is paid off, taking out another automatically as all that extra money is there for the spending. Okay, let's look at that. Oftentimes we'll have a 10-year practice loan, $5,000, $6,000 a month. As soon as that's paid off, hey, I've got $5,000 or $6,000 to spend. Well, instead of saving that or investing it in college savings for your kids, you buy a new home. Okay, another one. Financial advisors. Most will want to take control of all your money and charge you 1% per year, investing in funds with high commissions and expenses. That's a bad one. Actually letting telemarketers talk to you, okay? I get into more trouble with this and my wife has to clean up the messes later, okay? Not knowing my spouse had a balance of over $150,000 on several credit cards. Yes, we went through bankruptcy and divorce. I put not marrying the right person. Wow, $150,000 on several credit cards. Here's a good one. I lost over $1 million saved at the end of the dot-com era. I lost 70% in 2001 and 2002. I got back into the market with large caps, playing it safe in 2006. So between 2002 and 2006, there was a huge run up in the market, by the way. This guy was out of it, not in the market at all. My million was down to 600,000 by the end of 2008 after the market tanked again. And I was putting in $40,000 a year consistently. So he was down to 600,000 by 2008, putting in $40,000 a year, starting at $1 million in 2001. That's crazy. But again, he was out of the market for a lot of the time, and the market tanked twice. He says, I've been mostly in cash since 2008. Neither my broker nor I trust anyone anymore. I'm finally back to $1 million in 2014, 14 years later. And I'm putting a note here at the end. It says, having $1 million in an S&P 500 account in 2000, adding 40% per year and doing nothing, the doctor would have 2 million by now. He's got $1 million 14 years later, just by trying to time the market. Interesting. Here's another one. I tried day trading for a month and taking a trading course. I did great with fake money, yet when real money was used, I lost $50,000 within a month. Back to my broker. Here's another one. My worst mistake is incessantly watching CNBC, listening to the hawks on the radio, and actually thinking the end is near. After about 15 years of actually listening to the sky falling all the time, I'm finally wising up and ignoring all the trash. I always felt owning my large building, including several offices to rent, would pay off handsomely. I did have a nice income for many years, yet upon retiring, the building was half empty due to the recession, and I couldn't get a buyer to buy even a portion of the building. I even sold the practice without the building and got a fire sale price. I made money over the long run, yet it was a mess upon retiring. Here's another one, spoiling kids. I paid for private K through 12 for 2 kids, then private college. The total for 2 kids through college is $700,000. Whoa. One is 30, never has had a steady job, and he lives with us paying occasional rent. The other is 26 and wishes to go to grad school in history. She lives with us also, refuses to work, and we think she's into meth. The office is paradise compared to home. Wow. Those are just some of the things I get, some of the instances I see. Isn't it amazing? Take care. Thanks for listening.